All right, so tonight we're going to start off with a series of bills involving Speaker Shekarchi, who is here tonight, and he has put forward an impressive, aggressive series of bills that are focused in on creating opportunities for housing in the state of Rhode Island, particularly housing amongst those that need it most. So that being the case, we're going to deal with all of those bills at one time, and in order to achieve that, I'm going to ask that all bills be put into play. There are 5 on this calendar tonight, and I'll ask that all bills be put in play on this subject matter, and the first bill will be Speaker Shekarchi's bill. Speaker, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable members of the House Judiciary Committee, I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I promise to be brief because I know your time is valuable and because I have a limited voice band tonight. These housing bills that are before this committee for consideration and for testimony tonight, I'm very proud of. They make the permitting process for development clearer, more streamlined, and standardized, no matter what part of the state you're in. They eliminate unnecessary conflicts and barriers to the permitting process, and they encourage production, and more production. The first bill, which I'm the author of, and then the others I will speak very, very briefly on, creates a housing calendar or a land calendar in the Superior Court. And for those of us who practice that, this is not new. In the Superior Court right now, we have a gun calendar, we have a business calendar, we have a mental health calendar that we created, we have a drug calendar as well. And what that means is that all particular cases are assigned usually to one judge, barring the conflict, and that judge hears those cases on an expedited basis. And that's all this bill would do, would allow disputes and appeals for real estate, including and especially for low-income housing, moderate housing, affordable housing, to be expedited through the process. An expedited process doesn't mean they get approval, doesn't mean it gets denial, it means they get a decision sooner rather than later. This is very important because real estate, for most people, is the single most biggest purchase they'll make in their lifetime. And the beautiful thing about this is that we can use this through existing staff, existing court personnel, judges, magistrates, and court clerks. We do not have to hire anyone else to do this. Many states, including Massachusetts, have a land court. It works very well. I think it grew out of the study commissions that we've had. I think this is a great way to give people certainty in an expedited process. Expedited, I just want to know, sometimes still can be months and months, but nevertheless, months and months are better than years and years. The other that I will touch upon very briefly is a subdivision bill by you, Chairman Craven, that I'll leave to you to slide. That really doesn't change the fact that projects must be reviewed and approved by municipalities. It streamlines them, it creates categories, it moves the projects along, but again, local decisions on all these projects will be made locally. Nothing in this package substitutes the state's judgment for local judgment. Nothing in this package requires the city and town to replace planning board members, zoning board members, or city council members. The state housing appeals bill, it's by Representative Batista, eliminates SHAB. SHAB is an intermediary appeal board, which has outlived its usefulness. This legislation is created in such a way that if there's an appeal pending in SHAB right now, it is alive. It doesn't until that appeal is completed. Any appeals now will still go to SHAB, but come January 1st, and all the bills that we're talking about tonight, come January 1st, the new law will go into effect. I don't want to change the rules in the middle of the game for any application that's gone through the process, that's been heard, that the application has been vested. They all operate under the current rules. These all rules go into effect January 1st. The Exclusionary Act by Chairman Abney basically creates a bonus, identifies a bonus. If you decide, if you're a developer and you want to build affordable housing, and this particular parcel of land only yields 10 units, we're going to allow you to build 13 of them if they're affordable. And that helps with production. It would make it easier and most cost-effective for developers to build those additional units and help the market absorb more affordable housing. The zoning standard, Mr. Chairman, is your bill, and I'll leave it to you, but it's very simple. It doesn't change really any current law. What it does is as people know, zoning law is very ambiguous. We get zoning law from city and town ordinances. We get zoning law from statute. We get zoning law from case law. And there's all these different standards that most people don't know where to go and look at and read about. This would create basically a blueprint of where you can find the standards on which things that it would take all into existing current law, good law. We're not changing any law. We're not making it easier or harder or changing the burdens. We're taking the law that's been adopted by the General Assembly and the Rhode Island Supreme Court, and we're putting it together in a statute that everybody can easily read and find, and it will help cities and towns when they develop their ordinances. Because quite frankly, a lot of cities and towns, they don't know where to go to look. Some of them go to state law, and some of them go to case law, and truthfully, you have to go to both. So, in sum and substance, those are the bills. I'll be happy to answer any questions. I know the sponsors are here going to speak on them in greater detail, and of course, Joe Elroche has been a very key part of the team that's been developing and writing this legislation. Will also answer any questions that you have, Mr. Chairman, or any members of the committee. I thank you for letting me testify today.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is there any questions of Mr. Speaker and his bill? Seeing none, we'll go on to the next sponsor.
Thank you.
Put in play. Thank you very much, Speaker.